So, mainit-init yung topic natin ngayon. So, our first topic will be, is VP the best team in the world right now? Pero, bago nyo sagutin ang tanong na yun, mag-isip muna kayo what you guys think about a VP right now. I'm just gonna give a quick shoutout nga pala sa Lupon ng Wombo X Combo. You can join by searching Lupon by Wombo X Combo kung gusto nyong maging updated about the Dota games, Dota topics, anything related about Dota, or if you're just looking a community for Dota, join lang kayo sa Lupon ng Wombo X Combo. And of course, this is Duel once again, just reminding you guys. And eto na, go back to our topic. Is VP the recent champion of Bucharest Major and Katowice, securing yung yung $500,000 plus yung qualifying points.
First team into TI 8.
Yes. Are they the best team in the world right now? Kuya Pao, what you think?
I think, sa simulan lang, para alam na lang natin agad. My stance on this is yes. It's an unequivocal yes. Marami kayong pwedeng sabihin na it could be yes or it could be no. And I think it's going to be important to have that as a baseline. So, bakit ko nasabing yes? In the last 3 months, VP has played 47 matches and they have a win percentage of what? 74.47%. They're 21-4 in series. And that's a much higher win percentage than the current second placer sa DPC circuit, which is Team Liquid. Team Liquid is sitting at I think a little over 60% right now. Now, there are some people who are going to say, if you look at other methods of ranking a team, you go by Glico too, which para sa mga hindi nakakalam, if you play chess, Glico is basically an advanced form of ELO rating. Tinitignan dun yung mga kalaban nyo. And Liquid has a lot of placings. Liquid has a bunch of consistent finishes in tournaments. They have a lot of top 4 finishes. So, makikita nyo, sa top teams by Glico, Liquid is sitting at number 1. But then you have to ask yourself, who is the better closer? And right now, Virtus Pro is the better closer in the circuit. I was going to say in the league, pero wala tayong league eh. Yeah. Hindi tayo league-based na ngayon eh. Pero who is the better closer? Virtus Pro has been closing games even through a roster change. And that's a very big deal.
Yeah, that's true.
You take a look at Virtus Pro right now, they're the first person through with 7,200 points. They're beating teams like Liquid in games that can be considered as blowouts. When you're doing that to the former world champions, and this is not
the current world champions.
Current world champions, right? You're doing that to the defending world champions. And you're not doing that to the world champion, like, say, in past post-TI seasons, right? Post-TI 4, nasa ng newbie. Newbie wasn't performing, right? They couldn't even perform they performed a little bit post-TI 4 IESF. But for all intents and purposes, that was a newbie that went down in form. Sila Sansheng, sila Mu, everyone. Even How. EG was the same after they won. I know you know this, Ish.
Yes, of course.
Yeah, they also underperformed significantly. Wings was a little bit the same. So much that they ended up disbanding on top of other issues with their But this is the I think this is the first significant time that the current TI champion is in good form.
Yes.
Is in good form. Sabihin natin they're not championship form yet kasi they haven't closed out a major.
True.
And VP is beating them. VP defeated them in Bucharest in the semifinals. They took it to 3 games. Pero in those games, you could see that Virtus Pro's execution, their mid-game team fighting, they can go do it late game with Ramses. They're beating this team, and it's showing in their head-to-head matchups. In their head-to-head matchups, Virtus Pro is 54% over them. It's a small share.
Yeah.
But when you're doing that to a top caliber team like Liquid, when you're doing it to the current defending world champions, I think you can say na, yes, siguro sasabihin natin na consistency, and I'm a big fan of consistency. Alam mo yan rin.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of consistency. I'm a Spurs fan. Consistently, Liquid is finishing high. But they're not closing. And para sa akin, at this level of the competition, I expect all of the teams to consistently perform. And VP is consistently performing. They're also consistently closing. So I think right now they are the best team in the world. I don't think there's much else to say about it.
Mm. How about Ren? What do you think about Kuya Pau's take on a VP? Do you think they're still the top tier team? Do you think the stats, kumbaga, stats na lang ba lagi ang titignan natin? Kasi you have like Liquid, yeah, they're still a good team. Like they have good players, they have yun nga, consistent player that performs well. Like what he said, yung ano lang, ang kulang lang niya is yung closing out. So what do you think on that one? Just because yung Liquid lang ba yung nahihirapan mag-close up, natanggal na agad sila being called the top team sa league or sa ano natin ngayon, sa mga competition natin ngayon.
Yeah, I think for this one I have to agree with Kuya Pao as well.
Uy, kinuha mo ba
Kuya
ako?
Pao.
Walang
Uh,
yato ah.
It's I think it's a disservice naman to say that Liquid is not a top team.
Mm.
It's just right now VP is a much stronger team. Again, we have to give credit to Liquid kasi there's never a team again who defended their championship who's playing like a champion for the past 7 years. In fact, there's teams who change roster after
Oh,
a week
immediately.
after
Mm.
winning TI.
Yeah.
So
Shout out to AUI 2000.
so again, they're playing very well. They played 8 out of the 13 tournaments in the DPC right now. They placed top 4 in every one of them, and uh, 3 of them they actually won it all. That was minors though.
Yeah.
But it's one thing you see a team who's not joining qualifiers, is being invited and who goes every event and play it out. So again, kudos to them. But it's just VP's playing better. If Liquid is consistently good, VP is consistently excellent. They
Mm.
played similarly 8 events out of the 13. They actually skipped the first 2 minors. But from then, mula sa 8 sinalihan nila, 4 ang napanulan nila. Sa 4 na yun, 3 doon majors. Which is a very, very strong testament on how strong the team is, on how well they're playing right now. Actually, may sabihin na iba, at least they're not, as consistent as Liquid kasi hindi sila top 4 sa lahat. But the only time they weren't in the top 4 was where they placed 5th, 6th, and they were defeated by EG,
Mhm.
who was for the longest time defeating them. I think it's some sort of a mental thing na rin, and
Oh,
actually
yeah,
skill
it's a
because
mental
they,
matchup.
they
Mm.
can't really defeat EG for the longest time until recently. Actually, since pareho tayo nag-agree, I would even argue that VP has been the best team since October.
Since October.
Since October.
That's bold. I wouldn't go that far. Medyo how could you say again they skip 2 events, okay? And again, I respect what Liquid has done because again, Liquid is consistently performing in these events. They're consistently top 4. How would that pan out na since October best ang VP when
Well,
they've missed a lot of events?
The thing about VP is, sige, let's see muna kung how Liquid and VP compared through the past month. So we can see here from the patches natin from 7.06 to 7.10. We're in yung stats yung winning percentage ng dalawa. It's becoming at first it favored Liquid, but then as it goes on, you can see that it's starting to favor VP. Maliban siguro sa small hitch ng 7.07, but since then, tuloy-tuloy na. We can also see na before, the patch change is very new, right? Yung every 2 weeks natin. And one of the things that sinabi na, the patch is gonna, yung apekto ng patch is gonna benefit the really top teams. It's gonna distinguish the top teams from the
Mhm.
good teams. Kasi this time, you can't just ride one hero or one strategy because you have to continuously adapt and learn what the change is.
Mm.
So, the first major ng VP, which was back October, that was the first major of the season. I think it was the Hamburg.
Hamburg one,
Major?
ESL one, yeah.
You can argue na meron lang 8 teams doon. But at the same time, if you look at the top 4 teams ng ESL Hamburg, that is the top 4 teams ngayon ng DPC rankings.
Mm.
That is VP, second is, I think, is Secret, then Liquid, then Newbie. So those are the top 4. So it's a very strong field kahit na walong teams pa lang. That was the last, that was played in 7.06. That was the patch on TI, iteration ng patch on TI. 7.07, that was November to January, they won the Summit. It's a minor. From 7.08 to 7.09, which was in February, they won the ESL Katowice. And the 7.10, they won the PGL Bucharest. So this shows na over time, over months, kahit anong patch, they always find a way to end up on top, and no other team can say that they've done that in consistently from that time.
I mean, I think again, I agree with you. I think right now VP is the best. I mean, aside from just sabihin natin they managed to figure out patches faster than other teams, or at least hindi naman faster, pero they can adapt, and I think it's one reason for their success is they just have a very very deep hero pool. You take a look at Liquid before TI, at least before TI 7, they were the ones who were pushing Venomancer as a busted hero, right? And then they brought it back then ngayon. But then you're seeing with Liquid, they're sort of stagnating, they're resting on that sort of discovery and then applying it to ngayon. That's fine. But I don't know. I think masasabi ko lang is that while I agree that VP is the best right now, since October, and this is not as a way of me disagreeing with what you're saying. What I'm saying lang is I think there's systemic problems lang with the way that we're choosing kung sino yung pinakamagaling dito. Sabi mo kanina, yes, 8 teams in ESL 1 Hamburg, all of them are top caliber teams. I don't disagree that. But the problem is it becomes harder. It becomes harder to tell which of the teams are truly the best when it's such a wildly fluctuating field of or number of teams every time there's a major. Diba? So I wish that it was an easier situation to call. Right now, I think with VP being the best, madali lang sabihin that they're the best. But it's harder to be sure, maybe in the future, if ganito pa rin tayo, ano mangyayari next year? Major na naman, 8 na naman yung teams, tas merong major na isa, 16. Mahirap eh. So I wish that there was a better way to tell which of these teams are the best. And kudos to VP that despite this wildly fluctuating field, they've managed to still stay on top.
I believe naman yung 8 teams na major was only for the first one, and all succeeding majors are 16 teams.
Yeah, all succeeding majors 16, but then all succeeding majors have strange group stages.
Yeah, that's true.
They each your own.
Exactly. Diba? So I just wish that in the future, Valve, throw me a bone. If it's a major, make it something that's, kind of the same. And then if it's a minor, fine. Try out other formats in those things.
So, like, what you're saying is, like, mas maganda kung pare-pareho na lang yung sistema on every single
major. On a major. Para alam talaga natin, para in the future, pabalik kami natin, titingnan natin, pound for pound, major to major. Paano ba nag-aano itong dalawang team?
Tingin mo kung bakit nag-snowball or umangat uli yung VP dahil sa Swiss format from the Bucharest major?
I mean, they weren't the best in the Swiss format,
that's
right?
true.
They were not the best in the Swiss format. They were the best in the best of threes. They were the best in the playoffs. They had a really good performance, pero first two games, because it's a best of 1, diba? First 2 games in the group stage format, they were losing to themselves.
Yeah.
They were losing to themselves. I said this kanina on MU. I think that's the mark of a great team. If you're the kind of team na your only rival is yourself, how will other teams beat you? Right?
That's true.
Hindi mo competition yung ibang team, competition mo sarili mo. And that's what we saw with VP. Well, that's what we saw with Liquid in TI. Right now, Liquid ang kalaban nila is the rest of the field because other teams have figured them out.
Yeah. So that's true. So, ayun, we heard from both you guys the take of Liquid and Virtus Pro. Pero I'm just gonna question real quick. Like what you said, since October or recently lang biglang lumakas yung Virtus Pro. Do you think na dahil ba sa pagdating ni Roger kung bakit mas gumaling yung Virtus Pro or mas maglumawak yung hero pool nila?
Well, they always had a very big hero pool. If you go back to the Summit 7, where they played 80 heroes in 17 games.
Yeah.
So
that's
insane. Talaga malaking hero pool nila. I think it's easy for me to say na hindi ganun kalaki yung epekto niya, but the truth is, Roger is 2 out of 2 in majors, and VP is very strong with Roger.
I mean,
so
that's true. I think Roger, and I don't want anyone to misconstrue this. I think Roger is an excellent player.
He is an excellent player.
He is an excellent player. I also think he is the luckiest player on earth right now, or at least in the circuit. Because after joining a team, after 2 events, he's going to TI.
That is true.
Who else can say that, right? Aside from Shao 8. Right, aside from Shao 8. Let's join a team and then let's get to TI.
And going to TI that's Demon, maybe.
Sure. Totoo. Pero Demon had to go through an open qualifier, right?
If we're going in that line.
Pero grabe. Roger is an excellent player. he also just happens to be lumped in with probably two of the best, well, two in the running for the best players in the circuit right now, which is no one and Ramses.
But I feel like it's weird though. Kasi like parang yung VP ngayon na lang sila ulit nagpapakitang gilas, ngayon natin sila ulit nakikita, whereas before or sa tournament na to, we kind of predicted, oh, newbie, malakas ulit yan. And then you have like Liquid who's really consistent. Like you know have other teams. And then yung Virtus Pro lang talaga yung umangat. You think like yung stats nila na to, kasi I can't see from this stats exactly, like it's just like win rate. What else do you think, kung bakit nakakatulong sa Virtus Pro, yung nakakatulong sa Virtus Pro yung panalo nila?
I mean they just play amazing Dota right now. We can see the win rate, and yes, the win rate is half the battle.
Yeah.
Diba? Kasi pag makita mo yung win rate, then you go, oh, they're probably the best team in the world. No, but actual execution wise, we saw it in this final.
Yes.
They broke Vici Gaming J Thunder in the third game. In the third game, Vici Gaming J Thunder collapsed so bad that VP had a 5,000 gold lead before 7 minutes.
Yeah, that's true.
They collapsed so bad, and again, I'm not taking anything away from Vici Gaming J Thunder. Last week, sinabi ko sa niya, I respect this team. I thought TNC could take them. They defeated TNC in 3. Right? This is a great team. This is a great team that was broken mentally in the finals. Yun nga eh. It was so bad that VP managed to post a minor record. What was it? What Ramses with I don't know, second fastest Desolator pickup in 7.07x or 7.0x?
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Yes.
Wrap up tayo.
I mean, so, ayan, narinig natin yung parehong opinion ni Kuya Pao and ni Kuya Ren. Kinukuya ko na kayo.
Ginabi na kami ah. Paul to ah. Paul tong bago nating host.
Mukhang di maganda itong
Prior to ba
nangyayari
ako?
ngayon.
Unang araw ko lang ba? Pero, ayun nga, good information and take on those both teams, both Virtus Pro and Team Liquid. In the end, you guys both agree na Virtus Pro is the best team right now based on sa kanilang win rate, based on then how they just perform, and after yung Bucharest major, they just, kumbaga, parang sinil nila yung deal eh. After winning 2 majors, like, we got this game, we got this Dota right
I think
now.
3 majors, 2 in a row.
Oh,
Yeah, I
2
think
in a row.
this is the first time as well that it happened. The
Yes.
first time na back-to-back major winner.
Oh, yeah.
And someone has to be foolish to not think that VP is not the best team right now.
Ooh. Big strong words
Medyo,
from
ano
them.
yun ah. Well, that is, we'll see how it goes. So, yung marami pa naman tayong patches. We'll see if VP, yes, they're a good team right now. Ang tanong, like we said, you like consistency. Will they be consistent on the next patches that will go? Ayan. So, ayan. Meron pa tayong second topic natin mamaya. Mainit-init din yung topic natin.
I think so.
So, introduce ko lang sa mabilis eh. Are the DPC points too top-heavy? Mamaya na natin i-breakdown to what exactly that means or kung ano talagang pag-uusapan natin bago doon. Pero mag-break muna kami, magko-commercial muna kami, and we will be right back.